Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Apologies for the gap over the last couple of weeks. I'm back now. We're gonna keep this ball rolling, and without further ado, let's get into another video. So today I wanted to talk to you about a personal problem that I have with the EOS M50. I know I've said many times I really love this camera, but it's not without its flaws. Nothing's exactly perfect. Nothing is perfect for everyone. Unfortunately, the battery life on this camera is, it's just not quite there. It's not where it really needs to be. As a photographer, the whole swapping batteries thing is fine. However, as a videographer, you often find yourself not in a position to be able to change the batteries all the time. Like for instance, right now what I'm doing, I'm okay to change the batteries. It's a bit of an inconvenience. However, I'd have to take the camera off of the quick release plate to be able to access the battery door. The amount of times that I've had to do that is so frustrating. And before anyone says just get a mount that fits the battery door or get an adapter or something. No, what's the point? The battery should last long enough that I shouldn't have to do that. So the question here is, how do we overcome this problem of having to change the batteries when we're recording long video stints? So you might think, well, get a battery grip. You might be thinking, get a battery grip. However, there isn't one. That's not the case. At least I don't think there's one. Even so, that's not the point. So how do we overcome this? USB charging, like a lot of other modern cameras? Well, unfortunately, this camera does not have power over USB. It's data transfer only, and it doesn't charge the battery. So you may ask, how exactly do you do that? Well, turns out that small grey flap on the bottom of the battery door isn't just a piece of grip to help you slide that battery door open. When you can actually think about it, it's pretty easy to open, and you could probably knock it open unintentionally just by knocking the edge of the camera. No, that flap is actually a port or a cable connection. So you might be saying, but my battery doesn't have a hole in the end of it for you to be able to use it. That's correct. That's because there are dummy batteries for this camera. Yep. I know, I kind of didn't think there would be, however, people make them. They're available on eBay, they're available on places like CVP, B&H. What I would suggest is you go and have a look at getting a dummy battery set up for this camera to extend the battery life. For me, I did quite a lot of research into the best way to do it, and this is obviously for my arrangement here. When I first researched this, what I found was that the best option to go for was a USB power bank with a dummy battery and DC coupler. You can get the Power Junkie combined with the dummy battery. You can get V-locks and then get the same dummy battery attachment like what I've got. However, what I went for was something off of Amazon. I think it was around about £30, and it was the cable, which has a power converter in it, the dummy battery, so this thing is light as a feather. It's literally got your connection and your power pass through, a nice big trusty Anker battery. Now the reason I went with Anker is because they are one of the trusted power bank brands. They don't deteriorate as quickly as everyone else. Their surge protection is really, really good. And this one was actually pretty inexpensive. It charges quite quickly. It has 2 USB ports on it. Also, you've got a simple click button there just to check how much battery you've got. Now obviously this is quite bulky and you need to find some way of attaching it to your rig. Personally, I don't mind using duct tape just to whack it on the back of the rail system that I have here. So from my previous video, one of my previous videos, not the last one, but the one before, the handheld rig that I created, I can literally just duct tape that on there or get a clamp. So there are plenty of options of how to fasten this onto your camera setup. So the way this works, obviously I can't show you it plugging into the camera right now, so I will probably insert some P20 Pro B-roll right here. But you take the power bank, you literally USB it up, you pop the hole open on the bottom of the camera door, pop the battery in, close the door, and then plug this cable into this battery. And just like that, you have got pretty much all day power for your camera rig. Now, since I actually wrote this video, I have found an alternative option. And that alternative option comes in the form of one of these batteries. Now, this isn't the exact one. I haven't bought them because obviously I have my solution now. But the Sony NPS style batteries, there's a company out there that do them, the slightly larger one. They do them with a USB slot in the top, which is amazing. If your camera has USB charging, that is fantastic. If your camera has the dummy battery like mine does, that's also great. And it means then if you're using a monitor on the go and that's powered by one of these NP batteries, you can actually charge both your camera and your monitor off of one single battery, and you don't need an additional source, which means you carry less batteries with you, less spares with you, because everything works off of the same battery type. And that is probably one of the most sought after options for like an indie filmmaker, a guerrilla filmmaker. Now I have seen some D-tap, you know, like V-lock, V-mount batteries. I have seen some of those and a D-tap coupler, but I decided for, you know, what I want, I'm not gonna get a V-mount battery just yet. So like I said, I did do a fair amount of digging into what I would find the best setup for this camera. So I hope that maybe I have helped you narrow down your search a bit quicker without having to put in as many questions and hours as I did. However, the dummy battery system is the only way really to extend the battery life of this camera. It just depends on what power source you use to power that battery system. So whether or not you use a D-tap to dummy battery, USB bank to dummy battery, or the MPF to dummy battery. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, get subscribed, light the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video, and I will see you in the next one.